It's still amazement. To see the intelligence and teamwork that each team has shown us is still beyond belief in the world of retrievers. And they continue to prove to be the greatest retriever teams in this world. As we're about to close out our time here in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana, we've had the pleasure of watching each team as they were tested to their limits, experienced their thrill of victory, and felt their agony of defeat. Today, we will see the last of this competition, and we'll see what this entire year comes down to. And that is to crown the best in the world. Super Retriever Series, Crown Champion.
Welcome to the 2021 Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba. Hello everyone, I'm your host David Hamilton, joined alongside my analyst here, Rody Best. And Rody, we have had such a great week here in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana, and we're getting ready to crown a champion.
Oh, what a beautiful area. My wife and I had the opportunity to kind of tour some of the sights and scenery and meet some of the people. The hospitality is great, the scenery is great, and the food is great. It's definitely the sportsman's paradise.
The scenery's also been great here in the competition. 3 of our professional teams have already run that are in the finals. 3 more to go, but so far, Steven Durrance and Mason leading the way with 541 faults. Lee Howard and Shooter in second. Jordan and Lyle Steinman in third, but as I said a moment ago, still 3 dogs to run, so it's anyone's game. And at the end of today, we're gonna have a new crown champion. So Rody, give us a recap of the Series 5 test.
And this test definitely challenges the team's endurance, stamina, and heart. We start off with Mark 1 from right to left at 315 yards, Mark 2 at 250 yards on the right, and then the middle bird is 200 yards right up the middle. Dog picks up one of the marks and then has to run the blind. But on the way to the blind, the dog gets a diversion bird. They cannot pick up that diversion bird. They must complete the blind first, then come back and pick up the remaining 3 birds. Our judges have been outstanding this week, and leave it to them to have a great 5th and final series scenario.
Yep, Rody, and the judges are always looking at things like marking, memory, control, and line manners. Here are some of the faults that can be assessed throughout the test. Things like a poor line, whistle refusals, handle to the area, just to name a few. Up to the line now is handler Steven Durrance with dog Abby from Sylvania, Georgia.
And this team comes into this last and final series in 4th place and only 4 faults behind Lee and Shooter. She's a Grand Hunting Retriever Champion, Master Hunter, and has her Super Retriever Series Champion title.
Yep, Abby is 7 years old and owned by Randy Murdahl. And Abby and Steven have a combined 389 faults through 4 series.
And Abby has some of the best line manners I've ever seen from all of these Super Retriever Series dogs. She definitely saw all of these birds very nicely and has a great line going on this middle bird. In fact, she's about to kill this bird. This is the best line we've seen on this bird. One little hook at the end, and she's gotten it. Wow, that was impressive.
Yeah, you aren't kidding at all. Only 4 faults. Now let's listen in to have Steven tell us a little bit more about Abby.
My name's Steven Durrance. I'm from Sylvania, Georgia. This is Abby. She's a 7-year-old black lab female. This is her 2nd time at the Crown. Last year, I believe she came in 5th. Abby's that game time player. You watch her train on a daily basis, and she does good work, but it's nothing spectacular. But when it's time to jump into the spotlight, she takes it to another level and has another gear, and really likes performing. It was a struggle to get her to this event, not because she wasn't capable, but because her owner is such an avid hunter. They start at dove season and go all the way to the end of duck season, and I watched her last year in a field. Her owner sat her down at the station, and then he went visiting around the field, just checking in on everybody, making sure everybody had what they needed. And she sat right there the whole time, watching birds fall and marking them, and she knew where every one of them were. She was just waiting to be sent. She's a pleasure to hunt with. She's a pleasure in the house. I mean, she's just an all-around great dog in every facet.
And Abby did very well on the blind, had no problems with a diversion bird on the way out, and managed to pick up that blind with a score of 31 faults. She then commenced to pick up mark number 2, did a very nice job on that mark, score of 10 faults for a total of 45, and doing a really nice job on this left bird now. If she can just push it out a little further, she's going to be in great shape. Looks like she's hung up though, perhaps not wanting to get into that last piece of water. Not quite certain where she's going. If she can just keep pushing deep, she's going to be okay. It looks to me like she's starting to come back again. Yeah, Steven's doing a really good job here. She's established a hunt short of this bird, and he needs to really get her back and away from that gun station, or she's going to be in a lot of trouble. Really good job there at getting her out of that area and pushing her deep. She's turned the corner a little bit and disappeared to the right, kind of like Lee and Shooter did earlier, but she's turned nicely as if she saw that bird. She must have seen that bird from back there, took a nice left and got that bird.
Yep, 88 faults there on that mark.
Only bird left is the diversion bird. Appears that she really knows where she's going on this one. She's got a good line. If she can pick it up with 0 faults, he's in good shape.
And that's exactly what she does. 0 faults there on the diversion bird, so 133 faults total here in Series 5 for 522 total faults through 5 series. Steven is currently in first place, but we have 2 more left to run. Scott Greer and Tess. When we come back, they'll step to the line. The Super Retriever Series Crown Championship is presented by Eukanuba. Sporting dogs give us everything we ask and then some. Their nutrition should do the same. By the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, we are focused on you. And by Louisiana Tourism, feed your soul. Welcome back to the Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba. We're in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana, and we'll actually be back here in October for the Super Doc, and then again in November for the Retriever Trials. You can check out Shreveport-Bossier City Sports Commission for more information. We hope to see you there. Stepping up to the line now, though, is Scott Greer and Tess.
Tess is a 5-year-old female lab owned by Lance Kaufman.
Coming into this series, they were in second place, 53 points behind Clark, Kennington, and Stroker.
It looked like Tess got a really good look at all those marks, and I think she marked them all very well.
She's definitely running like she knows where she's going right here. Her initial line was incredible. She got out a little early, but man, that was impressive.
Now as Scott and Tess get ready to run the blind, remember that we have 2 diversion pops on the way to this blind. His timing could be key here.
For sure, Rody. Now let's hear from Scott about Tess and their strategy.
I'm Scott Greer from Friendship, Tennessee. This is Grand Hunter Retriever Champion 5 times, Tess the Amigos Master Hunter. And just very energetic, you know, got a lot of energy, a lot of, you know, she comes off the truck, she just comes off ready to roll, you know. When you're in the kennel, she's the one going, jumping to the top of the cage, going, open the door, you know, let's roll. She's really running good right now. She has ever since the summer. She won the Cincinnati, the Ohio event, and was running just like she is right now, just on, you know, and then that carried into the Grand, the National, and here we are, and she's still just, you know, we got here, we hit that first series hard, and it's just been, you know, I made a little bit of, I felt like a little bit of a handler error yesterday. I could have blown the whistle a little quicker, and I'd probably be a little tighter to the first place with Clark, but my old eyes, I can't, she's out there so far, I couldn't really tell. At one time I thought she was coming back, but she was still going. We're just having fun with it too. Show these old guys that old dogs can learn new tricks. Hopefully we can put a little more pressure on Clark right here and make it interesting.
Well, Scott and Tess did a really good job on that blind. He kept her nice and tight.
Yep, only 34 faults, so 48 total faults up to that point in the run.
And she's in the middle of running the second mark right now, the right-hand bird. She was a little right of the mark, and then Scott handled and picked it up good.
Yep, 61 faults there on that mark, so 109 total so far.
So Scott sent him for the last bird in this series, and boy, she's sure on a mission. She sure looks like she knows where she's going. Got her head up, looks like she's got a destination in mind. A lot of confidence on this mark. She's running hard. She might be about to kill this mark. Boy, she's in great shape. Just keep going, girl, keep going.
Oh, did you hear that right there?
Oh no, the killdees. She thought she heard a whistle. She heard the bird sounds and thought that Scott stopped her and turned and looked for direction.
Oh, just what an unfortunate situation right there. Like you said, she did not pop voluntarily. She confused the birds with a whistle.
And Scott's composure was great there. He did not budge. He knew what happened, but kept rolling with it. He's just going to take and do the best he can with it.
Wow, can't believe that happened to him. But like you said, a consummate pro there by Scott, handling the situation the best that he can.
Kill, they got me. What? Yeah. They gonna kill, they got me.
Scott's right about that. The kill D did get him there, but only 53 faults on that bird, so 162 on this run so far.
He's going for the diversion bird now, and you notice her speed is a lot less. That's because Scott sent her on a softer send. He's communicating, I want you to go on a shorter bird. Don't go as far. One quick handle, and he's got it.
Yep, only 9 faults there on the diversion bird. 171 here in Series 5 for a 5 series total of 456, moving Tess into first place. Will this hold? We'll find out after the break. Plus, our Open Division Eukanuba Team of the Year and a little Superfly action.
It was something that we wanted, and I didn't care who we won with, as long as we won, you know. And then the more points we got, the more, and I mean, it's kind of funny, one night I was up reading at 3 a.m. and I looked, and we have 112 open points this year with 6 wins. That's crazy. And I knew it was high, but I didn't know it was quite that high. And he's been such a great addition to our team. I mean, we got him in November from Hunter and Danny, and Hunter called me and said, hey, you know, I've got a dog for you. And Roy Mackey owned Hatch and was getting out of the game. And I always liked the way Hatch was bred with Sailor, and he's a half-brother to Tide, and I always liked that bloodline, but it was kind of something that we wanted to achieve and go after, and you know, and we've always been about team. We come together fairly quick. He started swinging with the gun. He gets calmer as he gets into series. Extremely smart, changes and adapts very, very well to different situations, and he's very loving. He's very affectionate to Steph and I and the kids, and he's very good around other dogs. I mean, he's always happy-go-lucky. His future's bright, but we're still learning each other. You know, the Delta Waterfowl was a great donation, and then our charity, the Noise Home in St. Joe, which is about 15 minutes from us, is 128-year-old orphanage that's funded by donations. And it's local for us, and that was important for us.
Congratulations to Lyle and Hatch for taking first, and to Lyle for sweeping Eukanuba Team of the Year with Ducky and Jordan. Now it's off to the dock and some Superfly action. We had 25 dogs competing for the crown in Super Docs, so let's take a look at who got crowned this weekend. First up, we'll have the Superfly Amateur Division. These dogs run down the dock and jump as far as they can. Our first competitor here is Riot with Kim Dunn from Morristown, Tennessee.
And Riot is a Malinois rescue. Boy, does she have some power for an amateur dog.
That's an impressive jump right there, 15 feet 5 inches as we take another look at it. And Riot takes home the champion title in amateur.
What a great angle, see in the air that dog was getting.
Up next is the Superfly division, and that's Colt 45 with handler Joel Conover. Colt 45 is a chocolate lab.
And boy, Colt sets up and gets a great jump there. Good look at that one.
Absolutely, 20 feet 4 inches. They get the crown championship in the Superfly. And last, we have Kara Hagenbaumer from Naperville, Illinois, with her dog, Logan.
Logan's a border collie, and man, does he have some speed coming off that dog.
That speed definitely leads to a long jump. Look at this right here, going super fast, and then gets a jump of 23 feet, 10 inches. Logan takes home the crown in the Superfly Elite Division.
Boy, that was a great jump.
Absolutely, always fun over there at the dock. And up next, our final dog to the line in the Retriever Trials, Stroker, with handler Clark Kennington. The Super Retriever Series Crown Championship is presented by Eukanuba. Sporting dogs give us everything we ask and then some. Their nutrition should do the same. By the United Kennel Club, dogs that do more. And by Thor Boats and Lucky Duck Kennels. Welcome back to the Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba. It's our last dog to run at the Cecile Plantation in Shreveport, Bossier City, and that dog is Stroker, handled by Clark Kennington from Patterson, Georgia.
That's right. Stroker is a 6-time Grand Hunting Retriever champion, a Super Retriever Series champion as well, and a Master Hunter.
Stroker and Clark came into this series in first place by 53 faults. Stroker has had 2 second-place finishes at the SRS Crown Championship, and he's looking to finally be the champion.
Stroker got a real good look at these birds and seems to be deciding on which bird he wants to go for. Clark settles him in, points him at the bird he wants, and sends him. Stroker's a more deliberate runner. He's not one of these fast, super speed dogs. He's got a more methodical approach to him, and a little handle early there. I don't think Clark liked his line. He was heading for the left bird, which nobody has picked up first. Clark decided to intervene there and go ahead and pick up the right bird, Mark III, which is what everybody else has been picking up. Perhaps Clark knew that something about Stroker where he was headed wasn't going to end well. We have to trust that Clark knows Stroker at this point after handling him for this many years, and figured his best bet was go ahead and handle him and pick up this bird and finish out a little cleaner than what he saw coming. I know that's probably a little unnerving start for Clark. You don't want to have to handle that much on the very first bird coming out when you've got the rest of the birds remaining.
Yep, 50 faults there on that first bird.
Okay, now he's going to send him for the blind. We got the 2 diversion pops and the diversion bird coming out. We'll see how Stroker handles this, being the experienced dog that he is. We hear the 2 pops there. Stroker looks back for some assistance there, wanting to see what his teammate Clark wanted him to do, and he handles with 1 cast nicely away from that bird, and Clark needs a couple more whistles here to get him on line and away from that diversion bird.
And as we wrap up the blind, let's listen in to Clark as he talks to us about Stroker.
My name's Clark Kennington. I'm from Patterson, Georgia with Mossy Pond Retrievers. This is a 8-time Grand Champion, HRC Hall of Fame, SRS Champion, Master National Hall of Fame. Weiss's IB Stroking, his call name's Stroker. To describe Stroker, he's a big baby. You know, when he's at the house, he plays like a 2-year-old. Now he's 8.5 now, but he's just like the playful puppy that no matter how old he gets, he's still a baby. He still loves to work. This is still a game to him, and I think that's what makes him special. You know, when he gets to the line, he is 100% business. I always call him Mr. Consistency because he's always there. He's got 2 seconds, a 6th, and a 7th. He's been the bridesmaid a bunch of times, so we're really hoping this time is his time.
On the blind, Clark and Stroker come away with 21 faults.
Yeah, and that was the best job we've seen on the blind all day. On this one here, he looked like he sent him for the right bird, but as Stroker got out there, he curved over and picked up the diversion bird. Really unusual. It'd be interesting to see if Stroker can go back and go down the same path again, and this time, instead of going for the diversion bird, push on and pick up. Yeah, you see a little nervousness there. Stroker was unsure. He was heading back to the fall area of that diversion bird, was unsure, checked back with Clark. I don't think they're going to hit him for a pop right there. And Stroker says, I just better keep running. I think he hasn't interjected yet with anything. I'm on line. And Clark does a quick whistle there. That's probably a real smart move there. He was in the area, shouldn't pick up too many faults for that bird.
Yeah, Rody, you've been talking about how these 2 have worked together for so many years. They know each other so well, and it really came into play right there. Only 32 faults on that mark for 103 on the total run up to that point.
And now we have the last bird. This has been the money bird the entire series. I think Clark's going to play it real safe. Stroker's obviously offline to the right. And I think Clark's going to conserve his lead here, keep Stroker as online as possible, and pick up this bird with as minimal damage as possible. Stroker is working with him very well, taking the casts, working with him, just saying, hey, boss, where you want me to go? I'm yours. Another good cast there. We just got to get across this last piece of mud flat here. And if Stroker can do this with just a few points, we should see a very good score. Another good cast there. Just keep going, Stroker. You got this, buddy. They got to be tired at this point. That's difficult conditions running in, and that mud's got to be difficult on them. Keep on going, buddy. You're almost there. Clark knows it, too. Look at the expression on his face. Just turn, buddy. It's right there.
And boom, only a 55 there on that last mark for a 158 here in Series 5, 390 total faults, which means that Stroker is finally the champion. Stroker and Clark Kennington are your 2021 crown champions. Tess and Scott Greer come in second, Abby and Steven Durrance in third.
It's been a long time coming. This was his 5th crown. Finished second the first 2 times. The first time was my fault. It wasn't his. And I've had to live with that for a long time. He got 7th 2 years ago, and then he got 6th last year. And he finally got it done. So, pretty proud of him.
And we're all proud of you too. Well, it's been a great week, everybody.
It's been a pleasure. Lots of fun, David.
And thanks to our audience at home for watching. We'll be back here in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana for the 2022 crown. For Roadie Best, I'm David Hamilton. Thank you for watching the Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba.